So 15, you want to find the inverse of the following function. So first of all, look at a, right? A, is that a logarithmic or exponential to start with? It's logarithmic. So that means it should end up as a what? Exponential, right? Because the inverse of a logarithmic is exponential. So this one should end up as an exponential. So let's switch the x and the y first, right? Right now, if I cross out the f of x, that's y. So we have y equals log base 5 of x. We switch the x and the y, so now we have x equals 5 of y. And then I just need to change this into what? Exponential. And how would I change this into exponential form? Just like on these ones above here, right? Look, we changed these logs into exponential form, right? No. 5 to the power of what? Of x. That's it. That's an exponential. Remember, that's what an exponential looks like. The base is right here. That's it. And the y became your f negative 1 of x, or the inverse. So there it is. All right, so let's do b then. B, how is b starting off? Is that exponential or logarithmic? Exponential, so it should end up as a, that's right, as a log. So if I take this g of x out and I change it to a y, first thing we do is switch x and y, right? So we have x equals 4 raised to the y. And how do I change that to logarithmic? Log, what's the base? 4 of x, that's right, of x. And that's it. Log base 4 of x. The g negative 1 of x, that is the y. You know, your y turns into that. All right. And the last one right here. This starts off as what? Oh, this is not even a, this is not logarithm or exponential. This is just a normal quadratic equation, right? So this one we're going to change the h of x into y. We're going to switch the x and the y. So we have x equals squared plus 5. And now we have to solve for y by itself, right? So I need to undo all this and get y by itself. So what should I do? Subtract 5. X minus 5 equals y minus 3 squared, and then? Square root both sides, that's right. But when I square root both sides, what am I left with on the left side here? I moved over here. What? The square root of what? Square root of x minus 5 equals? That's a y. Y minus 3. But what I'm saying is when you take the square root, right, what are your possible answers when you, what are your possible solutions to plus or minus? That's right, that's what you need to include, plus or minus. If they wanted it to be a function, right, then maybe you'd put just the plus, you know. But right here, it just says find the inverse, so technically you need the plus and the minus. And then one last step to get the y by itself, plus 3. So the final answer is, this is getting messy up in here, 3. Okay. It's going to be 3 plus or minus square root of x minus 5 equals y. So right here, 3 plus or minus square root of x minus 5.